Listen Up is back looking at the issue of human trafficking in Canada, the buying and selling of people against their will through coercion. Couldn't happen here? That's not what those studying the issue have found.
Here in Canada, it's much more hidden. You have to know where to look. But the Johns know where to look. The men who are paying to abuse these children and women know where to look, and they're finding them, often through internet websites like Craigslist and at massage parlors.
UBC's Ben Perrin is winner of the prestigious Trafficking in Persons Award from the U.S. State Department. His work for Canada helped draft laws to prosecute human trafficking here. 20 of his students dug through court documents obtained by 80 Freedom of Information applications. They interviewed over 60 police and frontline workers involved in cases of Canadian human trafficking.
And it was this Calgary massage parlor case in 2003 called Operation Relaxation, where the police were able to go undercover and arrange to purchase women from Southeast Asia. They were told that they could control them, they could impose a debt of up to $80,000, unilaterally imposed on these women, that they would have to be sold for sex day after day, week after week, in a residential community.
Well, actually, most of the massage businesses that we were investigating were in sort of what I would call a light commercial area. So they would front onto a busy thoroughfare within the city, but directly, in most cases, directly behind the businesses, which would be generally a strip mall of sorts, was a residential area. So a lot of this stuff was happening right under residents' noses. Certainly they didn't know what was going on. The owner of Cloud9 Body Care and his girlfriend had ties back overseas to Thailand. And they claimed that they were able to provide women to work essentially as prostitutes in the massage business in Calgary, that they had the facilities and the resources to create the documentation that these people would need to get out of Thailand lawfully, arrive in Canada, and take up residence generally inside one of these massage businesses and obviously fulfill their obligations as prostitutes there.
Subsequent investigations found that 43 victims in Calgary were all certified through the same phony massage therapy clinic in Richmond, BC. The Richmond Wellness Center, police found, provided no certification or training whatsoever. Literally, it's a P.O. box with a laser printer, and those massage therapy licenses were apparently enough to satisfy city officials. So there's a real collusion that happens between a lot of our city halls who earn profits and tax revenue off of licensing sexually oriented businesses like massage parlors. Who are we kidding here? We all know that these are not offering genuine massages, and it's just one example of how as society we've been willing to totally suspend our disbelief, to drive by those places and just assume that whatever happens behind closed doors is between two consenting adults.
Illegal immigration is one face of human trafficking. The other is those who find their victims in a group home.
He was literally trolling around the street corner, knowing that there's vulnerable kids without a hope in the future of ever having a regular life, and preyed on that hope. And instead of using threats and force to force this 14-year-old girl to be sold for sex, he used the promise of a house, of a happy, safe life. And that's how he deceived her. He said, "You're my girlfriend, we got to get a new house." And of course, there's a huge age difference. There are 10 years between them. And all the while, the money being used for men to pay to abuse this young 14-year-old girl with fetal alcohol syndrome was going not in a bank account for her, like Nick Pangi said, but it was going to pay for his own luxury home in Niagara Falls and a BMW. And this is the young victim that fully believed, because she hoped for a better life, that this was her way to get to that. And it was a horrible lie that was told. It's over 200 years ago that the slave trade was abolished in our country, and now we've got modern-day slave traders bringing victims to Canada, including long-term victims of the international sex market.
When we come back, Tricia tells her story of coming to freedom. After 15 years living trapped in prostitution, this mother describes the web of support needed to break free.